Hi guys, this is Travis with Beyond Bipolar blog. Today we're going to talk about 10 reasons on why people with mental illnesses go off their meds. Number 1, lack of awareness. I can relate to this subject matter because back in 2014, this was prior when I was having psychosis, psychotic features, and I was just unaware of my situation. Every experience is different, so imagine you are isolated and you have no one to relate your experiences with. You are not social, you just live like a hermit, and you would just assume anything you do is okay. There's actually some science that suggests that we live in a simulation, because if you think about it, we don't always hear, taste, smell, see the things that we should, like the colors Roy G. Biv, or sounds like elephants can hear low vocal noises, or dolphins can hear certain noises as well. So imagine all these extra stimuli that we're actually not able to hear. So just take your own perception that you're not always relating to what you're aware. So people might start the medication, they go off because they feel it's just something that's not necessary in a way. And number 2 is priorities. A lot of people with mental illnesses who try medications in the beginning feel that mental health is something that is not important to them. And you can imagine this, when I first was diagnosed in 2008, I was on medication, but I didn't take it seriously. It was definitely not my priority. My priority was school, to get an education. But you have to realize that if you don't have a balance of physical and mental health, everything else is going to suffer like school. So it's best you take mental health as a main priority when it comes to managing your life, because if you can manage your mental health, life will be much better for you. And number 3, side effects. When you first start medications, you're going to realize that instantaneously there are some side effects you might. You might experience somnolence, which is extreme tiredness. You might experience weight gain, which is another reason why people get off the medications. Depakote, Lithium, which I was on. Lithium caused so much weight gain that I wanted to get off it. And Depakote, I had an allergic reaction, so that's another reason I decided to get off it. So, like I said, allergy, weight gain, somnolence, dystonia, which is kind of like it's just facial features, tics that you might be having, and catatonia, which is ultimate stillness. A lot of people with schizophrenia suffer from catatonia. It can happen with or without meds, but you just got to be aware of it. And akathisia, as I explained in the previous video, is just extreme form of restlessness, that you have a desire and reason to move without other reasons or needs that you want to do it voluntarily. Another people why get off the meds, addictions. You know, everyone wants their candy. They want to get the next high. It's more instantaneous. Meds just don't give you that instant high. For instance, stimulants or alcohol, not only that you might get a certain addiction to something, but you also get addicted to it because of its cocktail or its chemicals that it's composed of. Addictions can be very hard because, you know, mental health isn't something that you want to take care of. You just want to get your fix. You just go to the bottle, go to the drugs, go to the really bad behaviors like cutting or binging or something that's related to puking like bulimia, etc. And routine. Being on medications does take a routine, and it does take developing habits. The only way to make it a routine to habit is to keep doing it consistently over a period of time. People might be so tired that they forget to take their meds. People are just not aware of where their meds are and forget to take it. What has helped me is that I always wear socks when I get up, so I always put socks on top of my medications so I know when to take them. People who don't have that routine, they may forget to take their medications because they don't they feel too lazy, or they don't want to go get new medications or a refill when it comes to that time. Another thing is that people who don't have the routine or habit, they may want to continue to not take their medications because they do have to call in, they do have to take that extra work. And for people that are on caddy waivers, they might have a nurse that provides this for you. They provide it in an IRTS, a group home, if a nurse is available. So that's another option if you're not able to. Caddy waiver does help you with pill setting or filling out your tray. So that's something that may be beneficial for you. Another reason why people get off the medications is because they feel better. It's ultimatum. For instance, when I was on my medication, I felt better and I wanted to get off it because I felt like, things are doing well and there's no reason to take your meds. And people make this honest mistake because they think they're feeling better and all of a sudden they get off their meds. But the problem is, over a long period of time, they get off it and they experience the rollback, which is getting into a state where they're unable to fulfill their daily routine, and they might get suicidal, depressed, and symptoms end up escalating because they decide to get off their meds over a period of time. Another thing is relationships or the network that you're part of. If you are around people that do drugs, that do alcohol, you are likely to do that. But if you go to dialectical behavioral therapy, psychiatrists, or in an IRTS or the hospital, or maybe other types of support like NAMI or DBSA, you're more likely to get well because these are people that are willing to take care of your mental health. People that you don't want to focus on are toxic people, like relationships you might be in, people that take advantage of you, people that do end up doing these addictive behaviors like drugs and alcohol and then all that sorts. It can be very troubling, and I think this is a huge problem when it comes to taking your medications because they don't take their meds. They don't put mental health as their priority, and that can be very troublesome for a lot of people. Another thing is time. Time can be of essence for most people. They feel they have no time to get well, or it takes too much time to get well. For instance, when I was first on Depakote, I had the worst side effect ever, and this goes along with side effects, is that when I first took, I didn't develop the tolerance for it, so I would get really lethargic and tired, and I didn't want that feeling anymore. And I just felt, I'm at a time or a period where I was so impatient that I ain't gonna get well, it's not gonna get better. And there's a lot of people where medications take time for them to work. Antipsychotics or Lamictal, for instance, you have to titrate up to a dose that is appropriate for you. You have to start small and then go up to a target dose. You can't simply go to a target dose because that can have adverse side effects. If you go up too quick, you can develop a rash and that can end up killing you. So a lot of this has to do with health reasons. You always want to start up slow, titrate down slow, or titrate slow, and you want to wean off slow if you decide to get off your medications. It's very deadly if you aren't patient because you don't know the various side effects that could happen if you do not wean off or increase your medications at a slow rate. You also want to talk to a psychiatrist so you end up having these issues. They're able to help you with defining the right medications for you and the time and the duration and what dose you really need to start and to make yourself to a target dose. Another thing is finances. If you are on new antipsychotics, they are very expensive. For 30 pills, it's like $1,900 a month that insurance pays. One of the benefits is that I'm on Medicare and Medica, which Medicare and Medicaid, which is through Medica. Medicare takes care of 80% of the costs, and then the other 20% is taken care of Medica or Medicaid. So everything is covered 100%. I don't pay a penny. So that is the greatness in a nutshell. So If you have a disability, you might as well try to get on Social Security to help pay for these bills. I'm not quite sure if SSI will help cover it, but I know for certain if you're on Social Security, Medicare is something that can help you definitely cover the costs. And if you do have financial issues that you can't take care of, Medica or Medicaid can definitely help you to cover the other 20%. This also includes hospital bills. Hospital bills are very, very expensive. So the reason why people get off the medication is they don't have the finances to cover it. It can be very expensive, these pills that you end up taking, especially newer antipsychotics like Vraylar, or even, like I said, Invega, or not Invega, Latuda and Vraylar. They're very expensive medications, and if you have the right insurance, things can be covered for you, so you want to take a look into that. Another common thing on why people get off their meds, or especially don't start their meds, is they have a personal vendetta against medication. When I first went on medication, I felt it was the worst thing I could ever do. I was the person that was all natural, that did not want to take medications. I want to be holistic, but my problem was that I never did get well. I might be well for a minute or a week, and then I suddenly start collapsing and I get worse. So ideally, I feel medications have helped me maybe 80% of the time. I feel that I'm no longer in IRTs or a group home or in the hospital because I'm on the right medications. You have to realize, especially with bipolar, it's a chemical imbalance. Depression is a chemical imbalance. There's nothing wrong with medications. People get off medications because of the top 10 reasons that I described earlier. And a lot of it is the side effects. A lot of it is finances. A lot of it is addictions. And you have to realize this all comes at a cost. And they think that I don't want to do this because it's just too much work, takes too much time. And they feel that the excuses, they have this vendetta against taking meds. They want to remain all natural, when in reality, it does take time to find the right cocktail. It took me like 30 different medications that I've actually tried, and I finally found the right dose over a period of, let's see, I've had an illness since 2008, so that's a period of 13 years of medication regimen, regulation, getting the right cocktail. I still have various doses that I'm still working on. You might admit that if you are not on medications, you feel that you don't want all the side effects. You'll notice that on commercials they have this very fine print. And I know a lot of people don't want to get a medication because of side effects, especially weight gain. I suffered from it. I get it. But if you don't control your diet, if you don't exercise, if you're too stationary, you will gain weight. So take the responsibility to take care of yourself. Understand that medications can help you in the end. Understand, for me, I personally know that medications has helped me. Latuda has helped kind of combat the psychosis. The Lamictal has helped keep the Mania in check and keep me from having suicidal ideations. The Zymbalta has kept me in a mood where I'm not thinking about suicide because I do feel better. It helps keep me revved up during the day. It helps me keep on doing what I really need to get done during the day. It helps keep me be responsible. So I ask for you, let's review what I discussed about. Lack of awareness, priorities, side effects, addictions, routine habit, feeling better, network, time, finances, and a personal vendetta. These are 10 reasons on why people get off the medications, or more importantly, why they do not want to get on medications. My personal, my advice for you is, if you feel like medications are not for you, that is fine. But for me, I feel like in the end, medications have worked for me because, number one, I put the time and patience in to take medications. I put the effort to contact my psychiatrist, to work with my therapist, to go to the hospital when necessary. I took the time to actually try to believe that medications work for you. If you have that innate belief that medications won't work, if you have that innate belief that I'd rather do something else, and I don't want to have the time or patience to do it. And the people around me don't do it. The people around me tell me that medications are bad for you. I have people personally in my life that think medications are bad and want to remain holistic. That is totally fine on them. But for me, I feel like medications work 80% of the time. And I know this is the reason why I'm not in the hospital. I know this is the reason why I'm not suicidal. I know this is the reason why I feel like I'm able to get through the day and not have all these adverse feelings that result in something that I might regret later. For me, like I said, and I try to encourage you, this takes time. It's not something that can be instantaneous. You might have side effects. You might not be clear on your objective here because you feel that you don't know how to relate to someone that as well. You feel like there is no hope. And the reality is that is quite the opposite. If you feel that there is no hope, you aren't going to get well. But if you take that personal responsibility that you still want to get well, give medications a chance. I encourage you to take medications. You got to do this routinely. And you might expect yourself, well, look, I'm on Latuda, the highest dose. I understand the side effects of Latuda is weight gain. However, if you look at me, how much weight have I actually gained? Now, it takes a lot of work to lose weight. It takes a lot of work to work out. You know, it takes a lot of work to be on the right diet. Everything takes work, but that has allowed me to get where I am at today. I feel like I've been in the best shape of my life. I'm mentally well compared to other years. There are years in which I've been fit, but I have not been mentally well. There's things that I've been mentally well and not fit. You gotta have the right balance, and if meds can be a choice, make it a habit. Make it something that you believe is hopeful for you. Don't consistently think that medications aren't right, primarily because you think they're bad for you, primarily because you think there's side effects. I personally feel that I'm not using medications as a crutch. I believe it is something that has helped me in the end. So, if you have that belief, keep that in mind. Medications can work. If you have that belief, if you have that time, and you work on dealing with these 10 things that I talk about and why people get off their medications. So I think that's it in a nutshell. I'm not quite sure what else to talk about. I was actually debating if there's more. Please comment below if you feel there are more reasons why people get off the medication, or if you believe there are other reasons why people do not start medications. I feel like I covered the most top 10 reasons on why people get off their medications. However, please comment, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell button if you are interested in more of these videos. I talk about mental health, I talk about advice, I even give experiences, positive, negative, and in between. So feel free to contact me and comment below. I will list my Beyond Bipolar Facebook account, my Twitter account, and my Instagram accounts. I compose, I do art professionally, and I work out on a daily basis. I hope you're interested in these videos. This is Beyond Bipolar Blog. Travis Baylett signing off. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.